Back in September 2025, I reviewed the Tesla Model Y Launch Edition, and I came away really impressed with what Tesla had done. But now I'm back with another Model Y, and this one could be a much more interesting proposition. This is the 2026 Tesla Model Y Premium Long Range All-Wheel Drive. It has considerably more range than the standard Model Y, it's got plenty of performance, and all the bells and whistles that give you that premium label. But because there is now a standard cheaper Model Y, is this one worth the money? This is the premium long range all-wheel drive. We've got a dual motor setup driving all four wheels. Tesla quotes up to 372 miles of WLTP range, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, and peak supercharging speeds of up to 250 kilowatts. So despite being a practical family SUV, this thing is properly quick. But what is particularly interesting is where it sits compared with the standard Model Y. The standard is cheaper, rear wheel drive, slower, has less range, but Tesla has also stripped back some of the equipment to bring that price down. So throughout this review, rather than telling you just what's fitted to this car, I'm going to point out the things you are actually getting by stepping up into a premium. Because ultimately, that's the question here. Is this, the Model Y, worth paying extra for? Starting outside, I really like what Tesla has done with this generation of Model Y. The previous Model Y was never an ugly car, but I always thought it looked a little anonymous. This feels much more distinctive. The full width lighting treatment across the front gives it much more presence. The headlights are integrated much more cleanly into the design, and around the back you've got another really distinctive light treatment that makes the car instantly recognisable at night. The overall shape is still unmistakably Model Y, which obviously helps with the efficiency and practicality. But I think Tesla has done enough here to make this generation feel considerably more modern. And having already driven the Launch Edition, none of this feels unfamiliar. But I still think this redesign has aged really well. And this is also one of the first areas where stepping up to premium starts to matter, because the standard car doesn't get every one of those same exterior touches. And this is the pearl white version as well. So the other ones I have driven have been black and grey. This is the pearlescent white. So this used to be the standard colour on Model 3s and Model Ys, and then Tesla have changed it. So the standard colour now is the grey, and the pearl white is now an optional extra. And it's hard to tell on camera, but the pearlescent sheen of the paint, especially when the sun hits it, is just stunning. Inside is where some of the differences between the standard and the premium versions become more obvious. It's still very much a Tesla interior. It's incredibly minimalistic. The materials inside as well, I mean the trim on the doors, we have this sort of Alcantara panels on the side, this textile material. It's also on the front here as well. We've got the PU leather on the steering wheel. I mean, it feels really nice. It feels like a nice place to be. The seats are super comfortable as well. They are noticeably comfortable than, say, the seats in my Model 3. So I do notice a big difference there. The steering wheel being smaller as well isn't something that I wasn't sure that I'd overly like, but I kind of do. Inside is where some of the differences between the standard and premium versions become a little more obvious. It's still very much a Tesla interior. It's incredibly minimalistic. Almost everything revolves around this huge center display. And whether you love that or hate it, it will probably depend on how you feel about physical buttons. But some of my favourite things about the Model Y aren't the headline features. They're the little things that Tesla has brought into this car, which you don't really start noticing until you drive it every day, and then you get back into, say, an older Tesla even that doesn't have those features. And then there's also then your selectors up here as well, which is pretty useful. If something ever happens to your display, at least you'll not be stuck with being able to move your car. But sometimes you don't actually have to select anything. The cameras can work out how you've parked and predict which direction you need to go. So if I've reversed onto my driveway and physically can't go backwards, I get in, press the brake, and the car automatically selects drive. Park nose first, and it'll recognise that the sensible direction is backwards, and it'll select reverse. Is it necessary? Probably not. But is it clever? Absolutely. And after you've used it a few times, you just start expecting the car to do it. Another example is the indicators. The stock is momentary, so you don't physically click it into position like you would in a traditional car. But when you're changing lanes, the cameras actually recognise that you've crossed the line. So you indicate, change lanes, and once you're across, the car cancels the indicator automatically. Again, tiny feature. But if you've ever driven behind somebody for 3 miles while they've apparently been indicating towards a field, you'll appreciate it. It's one of those little things that makes the car feel smarter without constantly reminding you that it's being clever. Of course, clever software doesn't really matter if your family car isn't actually practical. Fortunately, the Model Y is just that. I mean, it is absolutely massive back here. With all 5 seats in place, you've around 938 litres of storage space in this cabin, which is pretty good. There's loads of usable space, especially in the floor. With this being an EV, there's no tunnel drivetrain coming through the middle, so you've got loads of leg room back here, which is so awesome. Another small feature that I love is this. This is the buttons to drop the back seats. They drop down electronically, which is awesome, and not only that, but they also pop back up as well. That's so cool. And I just wanted to add as well, when you look in here, the parcel shelf has a nice little space to fold up into, which previous Model Ys haven't had. So you can literally unfold that, put your parcel shelf in, and if you ever need to drop the seats for transporting things, you can safely store your parcel shelf, which is a really neat idea. Technology is obviously one of the biggest reasons people buy Teslas, and this is still one of the best infotainment systems you can find in any car. The interface is incredibly responsive, navigation is excellent, supercharger integration makes longer journeys incredibly straightforward, and practically every function of the car lives somewhere inside this display. You've also got the Tesla app, which doubles up as your phone key, which is pretty awesome. Sentry mode is another great feature. You've got your dash cam functionality, you have your entertainment apps as well, over-the-air updates, and all the camera technology surrounding the car. And on the premium, we've also got this rear display, which gives passengers control over things like climate and entertainment. Of course, there's still no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but whether that's a deal breaker is going to depend entirely on you. Personally, I feel Tesla's own system is good enough, and I don't think it's as big an issue as it would be in a lot of other cars. Tesla do give you dual charging pads in the car, which is a really great feature, but sometimes it just isn't what it should be, because some phones with some particular types of cases, or some phones which are maybe a different size, just don't play ball with it. And that brings me nicely to the sponsor of today's video, MagBak. This is their 25 watt phone mount and charger for Tesla. And rather than trying to replace what Tesla already gives you, this gives you another option and moves your phone from down here to right beside the display. It's magnetically mounted, so the phone simply snaps into position. You've got wireless charging built in, and because it's sitting higher up, it's much easier to glance at if you're using something like Waze or another app alongside Tesla's own system. I also really like how clean the installation is. The aluminium construction fits nicely with the Model Y interior. The cable management keeps everything looking tidy rather than having wires hanging down across the dashboard. It's a pretty good accessory to keep everything looking OEM inside your cabin. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, I will leave you a link in the description down below and a discount code to get money off your order. Thanks again to MagBak for sponsoring this video. Now, let's drive this thing. So this is where the premium long range all-wheel drive Model Y starts to justify some of its cost. I mean, this car's dual motor, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, give or take. It's properly quick for it being a family SUV car. I mean, this car has no business being able to accelerate at the rate that it can accelerate at, which means pulling out of junctions, joining carriageways, you're never going to cut anybody up. Like, that's just call a spade a spade. You're just not going to cut anybody up at all. You're never going to get in anybody's way. But the bigger question is, does it feel better to drive? This car on the motorways is extremely comfortable, but even around town, it's just so easy to live with. It's effortless to drive. The steering is so light. The car is just so smooth. The autopilot features on it, cruise control, it just all works seamlessly as it should. And again, it's little things that you get used to driving a Tesla, like your one pedal driving, that regen braking is just so good in this car that when you get out of this car and into something else, you kind of miss it. And I will say, I have driven a couple of the older Model Ys, and this is a lot more comfortable and a lot smoother on the road. You just, all the little bumps and things that you would have felt maybe in the previous version, you just don't feel it in this one. And these seats are extremely comfortable as well. Heated and cooling seats, which given the weather in the UK at the minute, which has been a little bit all over the place in terms of heat waves and then cold, you're well covered with these seats. Even now, going over speed bumps, it doesn't really faze this car. It doesn't jolt the car as if, you know, oh, you've just smacked something really big, which is really cool. Now let's talk about range, because I've actually been able to put some real miles into this car. rather than just repeating the WLTP figures from Tesla's website. So last night I charged this car at Tesla Supercharger up to 100%. It is reading 299.9 watt hours per mile, and we have covered 82.1 miles since we've charged. And those haven't been 82 miles specifically driven to maximise efficiency. I've been filming the car, driving around town, getting motorway footage, testing the performance and genuinely using it the way I would normally use a car like this. And of those 82 miles, we're currently averaging 299.9 watt hours per mile. Well, it's now reading 300. So if you simply add the 82 miles to the 231 miles left on the range of this car, you're looking at around the 313 mile range mark, which for a car of this size isn't bad. I mean, this is the long range all-wheel drive version. We've got 2 motors, 4-wheel drive, and enough performance to hit 60 in 4.6 seconds. So that's actually not bad at all. So this brings us back to the question I asked at the beginning. Do you really need to spend the extra money on a long range all-wheel drive premium Model Y? Because the standard Model Y is already an incredibly capable EV, but stepping up into this gives you more range, significantly more performance, dual motor all-wheel drive, faster peak charging, and a considerably richer interior, equipment inside, trim, whatever you want to label it. So the question isn't whether this is the better car. It obviously is. The question is whether those improvements are worth the price difference to you. And after spending quite a bit of time with this car, I would find it tough to not have everything that this car brings compared to the things that it's maybe lacking in the standard Model Y. So after spending a fair bit of time with this car, do I want to give it back? In all honesty, no, I really don't. I love driving this thing. It's just so smooth and it ticks all my boxes, right? I'm a bit of a tech guy anyway. I'm a bit of a techie. So I like all the toys that comes with it. I love the power that comes out of this car. I love all the little improvements that make your quality of driving that bit better. You know, all those little features, you know. And I have previously driven the launch edition version of this car, so I'm already familiar with this car. And again, other than a few launch edition badges and things like that, it's not really that different a car. And already being a Tesla owner, like I own a Model 3, so is it a step up from what I have been driving? Yeah, it kind of is. My car is a 2021 Model 3, and I love it, I really do. But, and again, I don't want to say this because I turned 40 this year, and as much as I love my Model 3, sometimes just getting down into it just isn't as smooth as I would like it to be. And stepping up into this is a much nicer experience. So I mean, if I had the choice to keep my Model 3 or to take this, I think I would take this, if I'm being honest. So if I had the money to spend, would I buy one? Yeah, I think I would. So is this long range premium the sweet spot in the range of Model Ys? I think for a lot of people it probably is. Having already driven the launch edition, I really like this generation of Model Y. This is no exception. You've still got loads of performance, excellent range, loads of toys, huge practicality, brilliant software experience, and all those little things matter, and you appreciate those things every day. The thing I keep coming back to is the little touches. All the little things that just make your day-to-day driving that little bit easier. You know, little things like the car selecting the right gear, auto-cancelling your indicators when you're changing lanes, auto-open of the boot when you walk up to it with your phone key. Those little quality of life things make a difference. But all those little things won't sell this car by itself, but they do make the Model Y feel incredibly well thought out. Yes, the standard Model Y will be the version that is the best value for money, especially if you don't need the extra range or the extra bells and whistles that come with it. I would have no problem recommending it. But if this was going to be my main car, I'd be pretty happy with it. So would I spend my own money on one of these? Yeah, I probably would. And I think that's ultimately the question that matters the most, more than any range or acceleration or any other stats that you can throw at it. The best Model Y isn't necessarily the most expensive one. It's the one that gives you the features that you'll use against the ones that maybe you won't. And for me, this one nails it. So that is my thoughts on the new 2026 Model Y Long Range Premium. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And would you like me to do a full review of the standard Model Y as well? If you do, hit me up in the comments down below and we'll make it happen. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications, and we'll see you in the next one.